Today I have another Coin Show Odds and Ends video. This one is a little bit different because we're going to have some banknotes and some coins that we're going to show off in this video. And most of the time in a video like this I have a lot of carded higher price coins, but I've already made my videos of those coins from this particular show. And so this is usually going to be dealers where I made small purchases from different spots. And that's what we're going to focus on in this video. A little one-off where I bought one coin from one guy and bought 4 coins from someone else. And that's what we've got here. But many of these things are going to be new to this channel, coins that I've never shown off before. We're going to start with an overpriced display piece. And if you see something like this, it doesn't matter who made it. It was probably designed to be something that was sold at well overpriced. You saw this nice packaging that it came in and thought, oh, that must be something very valuable. And then by the time it gets to the real coin dealers, they're going to price it for what it's actually worth. I paid $1 for this, but there was probably someone that paid $20 for this a long time ago. But this was a display piece made by the first commemorative mint. I've probably never heard of them before, although I've seen a few of these other pieces that they've come up with. And so this one is a World War I issue. It's called the Coin and Banknote Collection, and you can pause if you want to read. On the left, I believe it talks about World War I, and then on the right, it talks about what actually comes in this package, which is, first of all, going to be a United States wheat cent, but they actually picked one that would have been minted during World War I. So, as you can see, this is not very good, but for a wheat cent, it's pretty old, and so it's dated 1918, I think. If you hold it like that, you can see the 1918. But I wouldn't even call that fine condition. It actually looks better on camera than it did when I was holding it. There's actually a price for this on gray sheet in this poor condition. It's worth 30 cents, and I paid $1 for the whole thing, so take that for what it's worth. And then at the bottom we have a German 1 mark note that was also made during World War. Well, a little bit after that, the coin. This one is dated 1920. And this one was actually, I tried to take it out to get a better look at it, but it's actually glued onto the cardboard on here. So this paragraph describes that note. This paragraph describes the penny. Oh, I can't quite fit it in there. And then I guess I could have just zoomed out a little bit. But yeah, then the display piece allows you to open it up, where the only thing to see on the back is the reverse of the wheat cent. If you've never seen one before because you're out of the United States, we made billions of these in the United States from 1909 till about the 50s or so. But there are a lot of coin collectors in America who collect just wheat cents and try to put together quite a master collection of those. And so that's one of the easiest things you can start to collect in American coins. So as we look at these loose coins, the first one we're going to take a look at today is from Chile. This is a coin that I thought I had. As it turns out, I did not, because it's easier to find the copper nickel version of this one, which was made in 1971 to 1972. And then for part of 1972, they made it out of aluminum. This is the 5 escudos. The escudos currency lasted until 1975. So Lautaro, shown here, was a member of the Mapuche tribe. His name roughly means swift hawk. He was a military leader of that tribe who organized to fight back the Spanish army when they were trying to conquer Chile. This coin is KM 199A. This next coin is going to be from Saudi Arabia, and most of the coins that you find from there are going to look about like this, except This one has just a blank space in the very middle. I don't even know which side is up because I can't read Arabic. But later Saudi Arabian coins had the palm tree above a couple of crossed swords. And so this one predates that design. This is one of the earliest coins in Saudi Arabia. I'll flip it over, and this one is a 1 gersh. On their calendar, that is 1356. Our calendar is 1937. This one is catalog KM 21.1. There are a couple of one variety here. This one is the plain edge, which was made by the Heaton Mint, and then version 2 of this coin is a reeded edge made at the United States Philadelphia Mint. The reeded version, there were 7 million of those, and there are 4 million of this one. So this one has a pretty good value. The Krause catalog says that in fine condition, this coin books for $8. So all of the writing on this side pretty much tells us who the ruler is. It loosely translates to King of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Abdulaziz Al Saud. The value on the coin is 1 gersh, and this was when they were still a pre-decimal system. So during this time they had a half, a 1, a 2, and a 4, I believe. With the coins from Saudi Arabia, oftentimes I have to go back into the catalog and take a look to see if I have it or not, because there are so many similar looking coins. This one's going to be a 20 cent, and it features the Protea flowers on their 20 cent coin at this time. And then the coins, a lot of the coins from the 1960s feature Jan Vanderbeek. He was the founder of Cape Town. This coin has a date of 1965, catalog number of 69.1. Point 1 means that South Africa is written in English, and point 2, that would be written in Afrikaans. So this one was at a time where they made 2 different versions of the coin for the 2 different official languages of South Africa. Not a particularly valuable coin, but it was one that I didn't have just because there's so many different versions of that coin. Then we've got a coin from Uruguay. From 1970, when they were called the República Oriental del Uruguay. In the middle of the coin, it features their coat of arms, but it's surrounded by a wreath and topped by a sunrise. At the very bottom, there's an S with a little O on top of it. That is a Santiago, Chile mint mark. This one has a metal rotation, which is less common, but you flip it this way to get to the other side. It's at 50 pesos, features 3 wheat spears. This coin was only made for 1 year. This one is a copper nickel zinc. Catalog number is KM 57. This next coin is going to be from Cuba. This is a 1 peso coin. The slogan at the top translates to Fatherland or Death. This coin features Jose Marti, and you very easily have seen him on some other Cuban coins from the 50s. There were coins celebrating the centennial of his, I forgot if it was his birth or his death, but around 1953, and for a couple of years after that, a lot of their coins featured Marti on it. This one has a segmented reeded edge to it. Then this side features the coat of arms. This coin was dated 1994, but they have made these as recently as 2022. And one thing I don't understand about Cuban coins is, or at least the Cuban culture, is this coin would have been made after the Fidel Castro regime took over, and I thought they would have done away with the people that would have promoted the concept of freedom from their past history, or maybe they're just trying to instill some patriotism into the people. So if you've got some insight on that, I'd be curious on why they would have included a past icon like that. The Cuba has a parallel coin system. There are the tourist coins, which are actually pegged to the United States dollar. This one is actually the coins for the people who live in Cuba, which is not pegged to the United States dollar. This one would have a foreign exchange value of 39 cents. And its catalog number KM347. Our next coin is another one that I thought I had, but turns out I did not. This one is going to be from Iceland. It's from 1925. This is the 10 aura coin, and it's stained pretty bad, but I got it for an affordable price. But as it turns out, the version of this coin you're going to find the most often is 1940, which has a different KM number. That one would be KM 1.2, but the one I'm holding here is KM 1.1. I don't have a mintage figure for it, but what's different about it is where it was made. It's got the Danish mint mark of the heart and the mint master initials of HCN and GJ there at the bottom. I don't know how many people would actually pay this, but it's got a catalog value of $15. KM 1.1. And then we've got another coin from Turkey that I figured I had, but it turns out I didn't. A lot of the coins from Turkey around this time feature Ataturk on it. This time he is shown horseback. So it's kind of hard to tell who that is. That is supposed to be Ataturk on here. This is made out of aluminum. This is a 5 lira from 1983. This design was only used for 1 year. So there's some differences over the years. Starting in 1981, the version of this coin actually had the crescent moon on the other side of the star. So the crescent was kind of open this direction with the star inside of it. But starting in 1982, the crescent was like we see it here. But in the 1982 version, the number 5 on here was taller and thinner. So in 1983, it is shorter and thicker. And then they made this version of the coin for 1 year. And then in 1984 to 1989, this side featured just the portrait of Ataturk facing to the left. So this coin is KM 949.2. And now for a coin that I was pretty sure I did not have. This one's going to be from Swaziland. And with coins from Swaziland, I always point out that today this country is known as Eswatini. So someday there's going to be a group of people that most people would have never heard of Swaziland, perhaps. This side features their king, who at the time was Sobuza II. There are 1.5 million of these made. It's made out of copper nickel. And it's a scalloped edge design. This one is dated 1975. It's catalog KM9. And this is called an arum lily. And the catalog says this coin is only worth 10 cents, but sometimes I gotta think that if it took me collecting coins this long to find this coin, then it should be worth more than 10 cents. There's a dealer I see very often that has euro coins at sold for exchange value as if it's a 1-to-1 price. This one's going to be from Greece. So the coins from Greece will say 50 euro cent on this side, but I don't know, in case the Greeks can't read cent, it has the old spelling and the alphabet, the Greek alphabet that they're used to, and it says 50 lepta on the side that they customize. Has the name of this gentleman on the very bottom. That is Eleftherios Venizelos. He only appears on the 50 euro cent. And we also have if you've never seen the Greek mint mark, it's this little symbol right here. It's a fairly new coin at 2023. That's actually the most common version of this coin. There were 19 million of them made in 2023. And I always like to point this out in case you haven't noticed it before. There are two versions of all of the brass colored coins. Up through about 2007, the different countries on the map were all separate, but starting in 2008, they are all contiguous on the map. So it's kind of drawing the countries without borders on here. Catalog KM 213. One thing I find interesting about coin collecting is that you don't have to like the person represented on the coin to want to collect their coins. And in many cases, the controversial people end up being more desirable coins because if it's someone from another country you've never heard of, then why would you want their coin unless you're just like us and you want to collect all the coins? But if you can find a coin of someone famous, that one will have a premium on it because there are people who will be interested in the coin, such as history buffs, who are not necessarily coin collectors who will want the coin. This one is going to be from Germany, and it is of Karl Marx. Has a date of 1818 to 1883. And this coin was made in 1983, so it was honoring the centennial of his death. So this one is kind of well worn, but this one has a better price, or in the catalog, a more valuable price than a lot of the coins that we see from Germany. Germany made a lot of commemorative 5 marks over the years. And this was West Germany, by the way. So this one's well worn and it's tarnished on this side. It has a J mint mark. That means Hamburg, Germany. There were 8 million of these made in a non-proof version and a smaller number made of proofs. It also has some edge lettering. I'm going to have trouble pronouncing the German, but it translates to one of his slogans, which translates to truth as reality and power. This one is KM 158. We're going to move to a couple of carded coins. This one's going to be from Brazil. It's catalog number 529. This one is a 400 Reis from 1932, a design that I'd never seen before. So it has Roman numeral 4, Centenario, da Colonization of Brazil. So the coin was made in 1932 and honors in 1532 when Portugal came to colonize Brazil. And so it's got a map of Brazil, and I guess it's got the longitude and latitude on here of, I guess, the spot where they first landed in Brazil. And so this is called their Vicentinus series for the 400th anniversary of colonization. So at this time, this one is the 400 Reis. They also made a 100, a 200, a 500, 1,000, and a 2,000. The 2,000 is made out of silver. The others, lower numbers, are made out of a base metal. This side features the Lusitanian cross, which is a symbol of the medieval Knights Templar, but it's also frequently used with as a symbol of the Portuguese exploration from the 1500s. So I paid $5 for this coin. Kraus catalog says I overpaid for it, that it would only be worth $2, but Numisa says I underpaid for it, that it would be worth $6. For our last coin of the video, we're going to move to Peru. This coin features Admiral Grau, Miguel Grau. He is regarded as Peru's most famous naval hero. He had the nickname of Gentleman of the Seas. This is a coin that I actually thought I had already, but it turns out I didn't. In 1984, Peru honored the 150th birthday of Admiral Grau by changing all of their circulating coins to this design. And at the same time, they had on the bottom, in this empty space right here, it had 1834 to 1984, which was the year that coin was first made. In 1985, only for this coin, which is the 500 soles de oro, in 1985 they made a version of this coin without the date on here. All of the other coins they made in 1984, they did not make like this in 1985. One of the reasons for that was 1985, they did a currency reform, so that 1,000 old sols became a new currency called the inti. So the 500 sols in 1985, later in the year, turned into the 50 centimos. And so they did update all of the other previous coins to this new design, and would have looked just like this on the other side, missing the this date on the side. So with all that, that's kind of a complicated way of, there are two versions of most of their circulating coins, and a third version of just this coin. So this is the only coin that had the third version. So this one is catalog KM 310. So for our banknotes here, we're going to start with Argentina. And for this one, this banknote is a 10 pesos. There's no date on it, but it's 1973. Catalog number is P289. This note features Manuel Belgrano, listed as a general. He was a military leader who was prominent during the Argentinian War of Independence. On this note, it has stamped on here, if you see LEY, that stands for law, 18.188. So the notes that are dated, or that were printed from 1970 to 1973 will have that stamped on it. And then later in 1973 through 1976, it will have another word that translates to decree in front of it. And then for a brief time in 1976, this stamp was just not on it at all. And then oftentimes we will look at the signatures to know the specific date that it was made. So that's how we know this one was 1973. This note features a watermark of the Argentinian coat of arms. Which the coat of arms also appears right here. And then on this side, it features one of their famous landmarks, Iguazu Falls, or in their language, Cataratas. Next, we have a banknote from Japan from around the end of World War II. I don't believe this one has a date, but it was made in 1944. This one is a 10 sen, and so there's 100 sen in 1 yen. This one is catalog P number 53. And these are not rare by any number. There's nearly 1 billion of these. And this one has a block number of 2 on it. Each block has 50 million of each printed. But the most famous thing on here, or I guess the most prominent thing on here, is the building on the left, which was called the Hako Ichiu Tower. It was completed in 1940 and was a symbol, and that name was a slogan of the Japanese Imperial Army. However, following World War II, the United States military insisted that they take that slogan, which was written on the tower, and take it down. And after World War II, it was renamed the Peace Tower. And just based on that context, it's been a pretty controversial statue, the naming of it, based on implying their military prowess and then changing it to something that was peaceful. The fact that it had to be renamed. So lots of controversial aspects to it. We flip it over and had a kind of a simplistic design. Just a single color printing on this side. Very well worn, so it doesn't have pretty much of a huge value on it. So we've got a couple of notes from the Philippines. We're going to start with one from a 1 peso. This one doesn't have a date, but it was made in 1969. This one features Jose Rizal. He is a national hero based on contributing to their independence from Spain. He was known for his separatist writings. This note also was early in the reign of President Ferdinand Marcos. So his signature appears on these notes. The other side features a scene from the signing of their Declaration of Independence. And that happened at Aguinaldo's mansion. This has a watermark of Rizal in that window right there, and it also has a security thread which runs through it. Then we also have the 10 peso from the same series. Again, it doesn't have a date, but it was made in 1969, just like the last one. The last one had a catalog number of P142. This one is P144. It has the same Ferdinand Marcos signature right here. This time it features Apolinario Mabini. He was another leader of trying to gain independence from Spain, so he was given the nickname of the brain of the revolution. And then this side features the Barasoyan Church. It also has a watermark of Mabini right there, and it also has a security thread which runs through this one. Then we've got my first banknote from Suriname. They were still controlled by the Netherlands, so they have the same currency, which is the golden. This one is a 10 golden. This one has a date printed on it of 1963, but based on the serial number on the other side, it was actually made in 1976. This one is catalog P121, and this features a woman carrying a basket of fruit on her head. And we flip that one over, and it has the Suriname coat of arms on the side. And this one has a watermark of a parrot. Then our final note, this was my first banknote from Uganda. This one is pretty colorful. This one is a 5 shillings, and their coins of the time have it in 2 languages, so they call it Tano Shilingi. Shows a woman here picking coffee beans. This one doesn't have a date, but was made in 1979. Catalog number is P10. We flip this one over, and on the left it features the Bank of Uganda building. This one features a watermark of a crane. And anytime I pick up banknotes, I like to see if there's anything you can see under a black light on them. This one, there's one office that lights up in the bank building on here. And that almost looks like it's not supposed to be there. And it isn't supposed to be there. There's something stuck to it. But it left a little stain on that one. We go back to the Suriname note. It has some security threads that run through it. Kind of see it over by the watermark. Then both the Philippines banknotes also had the security thread certainly glows better under the black light. It has a purple look to it. But if we look closely, this one has some security threads that are visible under a black light. Must have been the other one, but you can see the watermark of Rizal on this one. This is the one that had the security threads in it. The 10, since it is a bigger banknote, but there is the watermark of Mabini on here. And now that we've got the more lights out, let's look at the two that had the birds for the watermark. The one from Suriname had the parrot, and that way it doesn't really show it as well as I would like, although it makes for a trippy purple color. And then let's go back to the one from Uganda that had the crane. Guess I'd need a white flashlight for that one. But we can see the security thread through this one pretty good. Alright, I don't focus on banknotes as much on this channel. I usually make my videos about coins. But I will catch you on the next video. So until then, bye.